Messara. And John, we've kept hearing the one word this morning from Harold Mitchell in Melbourne and yourself, an historic day for the media rights and for racing in both states.
Well, I think it is. I honestly think it is. I know that when I came into Racing New South Wales, I set myself a few goals. I discussed them with the board. We agreed to go ahead. One of them was to try and aggregate the New South Wales and Victorian rights. And I'm so pleased that halfway through the first year of the term, we've been able to achieve that on fair terms to both New South Wales and Victoria. It's going to mean that the industry has more leverage with its important asset of media rights. New South Wales and Victoria account for about 70 to 80% of wagering in this country. Now, that's a big play, and to think that the media rights relating to all of that are in one vehicle and that we can manage that in the best way possible in terms of new media, in terms of international, and in terms, of course, of domestic and free-to-air, it's going to give us a much more functional situation here than we've had. It's been quite fractured. It's worked pretty well, but it's been fractured. And the same applies, of course, has applied, as I said in my little start off here, that with the STC and the AJC merging together, you're going to see some of the benefits of that emerge over the next couple of years. I feel sure. Some of these organisations need to be consolidated for the benefit of racing. Not right across the board, but there are some key ones. The Metropolitan Race Clubs was one. This was another. And I'm so pleased that we've been able to do it.
So with the aggregation, John, what does it mean basically for racing in our state? Does it mean we get more money? Does it mean we get to highlight the racing picture? What does it actually mean?
Well, I'm hoping it's going to mean an excellent picture, more coverage of our racing. It's going to mean that when our industry-owned company goes to deal with a third party, be it Sky or be it international parties or be it free-to-air or be it anywhere else, we'll be able to offer a full suite of racing, of the best racing there is in this country, which is New South Wales and Victoria. That's got to put you in a more powerful position, Richie, and we should be able to do better for the industry across the board with that, you know?
For a long time, a lot of people thought that might be the way to go, but a lot of people have tried previously. John, how come your board, led by yourself and Michael Duffy's board, were able to get down and get through the nitty-gritty?
Well, I know that the race clubs had tried for a long time, and even over the last 18 months. I think the involvement of Racing Victoria and Racing New South Wales has helped to get the parties together. We're not as emotionally involved as some of the shareholders and TVN is, but without all of their cooperation, this would never have happened. On my side here, ATC has been outstandingly cooperative, but I think having two, if you like, regulatory bodies come in at a higher level and sort out the kinks has been helpful, but a lot of the legwork had already been done by the clubs, to be fair.
You said in the press conference that both regulatory bodies will be represented on the new structure of the TVN board?
Yeah, and I think that goes to support my statement that this is about state-to-state cooperation as well. And, for example, Racing New South Wales takes the view that while the ATC owns 50% and the provincials and country aren't involved in the ownership, they're still a very important part of the racing picture in New South Wales. And so it's important that we represent the whole state on that television station, on that television aggregator, the rights manager, rather than just, if you like, the Metropolitan. They'll be well covered anyway by the shareholder interests who are on the board. We take the broader view, if you like, of the whole state of New South Wales. But now we're saying New South Wales and Victoria.
The new board will be representative of the shareholders, so a direct person. It's gone away from, I suppose, the model of the independent board.
Look, the independent board model, I don't think worked as well as it could. I think if you're a shareholder in something, you want to have a say as to how it runs. For example, I hate investing in companies where the directors aren't involved. I like them to be involved, to have some hurt money in it. Here, our race club, the ATC, has 50% interest. It'll have representation, and we'll be there to look after the interests of the state as a whole. I think this will be a positive step, and having Racing Victoria there also means that this is the beginning of a much more cooperative approach between New South Wales and Victoria. I think a lot of dividends have come out of that. I really do. Cooperation on race dates and the clock, those sort of things, I think can all flow because we're all in the one tent now.
It gives you more clout, obviously. You mentioned the biggest wagering is from the two states. Does that mean you can apply a bit more pressure in different quarters?
Well, it does help you to do that. But, you know, if you're referring to Sky, for example, Sky is a really important player here, and they'll be around, and it's important they stay around and they prosper. And so we've got to work cooperatively with them. After all, they represent the majority of our income flow. So, but we're in a much better position to negotiate, not only with them, but with every other broadcaster, new media, and all these developing broadcasting channels, which are going to be so important in the future. There've been nothing in the past. International, I think that's going to be a growing thing too. So it just gives us a bit more clout. Richard, you're dead right.
How does it work, John, with the provincial and country? They're always in the one basket together. Does the ATC rights now, are they all joined by one signature?
Yes, what's happened now is that we've got agreement in principle from the provincials and the country in New South Wales to cede their rights for proper money to TVN instead of around the place. So all the rights are going to TVN, even though they don't have shares in TVN. They have still committed their rights to TVN. And I think, and they're going to get a very fair deal out of this, of course.
It always comes back to a lot of clubs, John, aren't flying financially. Will this new deal enable the clubs to get an inflow of money?
Well, I think certainly country and provincial are happy with the deal that is going to be done with them in respect of their rights. Yes, they're happy about that, and I think it's an improvement on what they've had in the past.
You said earlier you're not even just a half, 6 months through your tenure. You must be tickled pink that some big decisions have been made in your short term.
Well, we won the court case, and I'm absolutely the beneficiary. I take no credit for that at all, but I'm lucky to be here. But, of course, we made a decision on how to spread that money around in a very equitable way right across the industry, and that's been an important thing. Now we've got the aggregation of the broadcasting rights. One of the next major issues is going to be the development of the Autumn Carnival into something very special, a destination meeting that people from all over the world will want to attend. That's the next target.
Just quickly, was it important to have the Minister for Racing in New South Wales here, for Minister of Racing, George Souris?
I think so, from the point of view that he's interested in what happens to our industry. We did mention confidentially to him this was happening. We said, as a matter of courtesy, if you'd like to come. He said, look, it's so important, I'd be delighted to come. And we're very grateful that he has that level of interest in the industry. So it's good for us that he's interested.
You got to bounce in the step.
I've got the bounce in the step, mate.
One last thing on a personal note. How's Paul and Hortensia over in England?
Well, he's so happy with her condition. I've been speaking to him almost daily. Unfortunately, the rain started falling in the last week, and it's going to be a sloppy track. Now, what that means for Hortensia, I can't tell you, but her work's been impeccable. She's eating her head off. I'm an outsider. I don't own the horse. I own the stable. I bred the trainer. That's all I've bred. But I'm going there with a lot of interest, and I'm really hoping for him that he breaks through. It'll be a very big thing for his career if he can break through.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.